here I am with one of the team members from VaynerNFT. And not only do all of us at NFT.NYC love the things that Vayner has done, but their clients love them. The community loves it. It's amazing all that you and your team have accomplished since Gary brought in Avery. Leslie, you were one of the most memorable humans I've ever met at any event. Last year, you came up dressed as a World of Woman avatar, and you completely captivated the room with your energy. And so I'm excited to introduce you to everybody here without all the makeup and the costume on. Please let us know a bit about yourself.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for saying that. I never thought I would hear that in my entire life, being one of the most memorable people at a large event like that. So that just made my day. Thank you. But yeah, I'm a real person, not just a blue avatar. My name is Leslie. I guess I'm doxing myself. Just kidding. I've been doxed from the beginning, but I'm a senior account manager at VaynerNFT, and I've been in NFTs for about a year now, just trying to deep dive, learn as much as I can, and try to build however best I can support this space, try to build in it.
And so when you came to NFTNYC, was that one of the first events you had been to in the space, or was it the first event you had been to? And I'm assuming that since then, you probably have been able to go and be a part of other events, because there's a lot of things happening in Miami and LA. I mean, VCon, I think, happens this week. So can you give me an idea, what is it like, the community aspect? Because you get to work with the big brands, right? Vayner does stuff for Anheuser-Busch and Pepsi, and obviously a bunch of new projects. And so you're kind of setting the tone as a team for long-term value in this space. But besides that, there's the community aspect. So give me some insight in terms of what have you seen? What do you like? What stands out to you in terms of gathering this community together?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked, because one of my favorite parts about being in the NFT space is actually the IRL events. I am obsessed with them because I think that's where you really get to see the best of the community. I think online, when people are behind their avatars, behind their keyboards, and there are so many layers between you and the person all the way through digital land on the other side of their screen, people are a lot more confident bringing out their less amazing qualities, or sometimes even their worst selves. So I love being in person, seeing people at their highest vibes, just wanting to collaborate and connect. And everyone in this space particularly is so open. I've been in other rooms before. I have a background in influencer marketing. So, and I've been doing events a little throughout my life, philanthropy, influencer marketing, and now NFTs. And with my role, I've actually contributed to a few events. So this is the only space, however, that I've been in, or I should say one of the only, but where everyone is so welcoming, so open. As soon as you meet the person to the left of you, the right to you, they're like, let's be best friends. How do we keep in touch? What are you working on? And everyone's inspired by each other at these events, because we realize that people who are here so early are very open-minded. You don't have to be very smart, but often a lot of the people in this space are. So it really makes for intellectual collaboration, great conversations, and there's so much fun around it that it's an energy of excitement as well. That's something I saw at NFT.NYC, even whenever I had 2 days. I had one day as Leslie, I had one day as Cool Blue, where I was dressed up. So it makes sense for me to be like, oh, the energy is amazing. Everyone's so nice whenever I'm blue, because that's interesting. People want to take selfies. It's easier to be excited whenever someone is dressed in all blue, wearing a wig and giant glasses. But no, even when I just went as a spectator and I was very shy, I still made one of my best friends in the space, Cassie, who's another speaker from Hello Sunshine. And we met day one, and we've talked at least once a week since then. So that was my first introduction into the community of NFTs. And ever since then, I was hooked. And now with VCon coming up this weekend, I am exploding just out of my mind. So excited because I did go to Art Basel after and NFTLA and try to catch all the fun ones. So I can see my NFT friends again, the ones who live far away. And now I'm just so excited for all the events coming up, particularly obviously VCon and then the next NFTNYC, because these are the largest ones and the community just gets so hyped and excited, and I live for it. Now my favorite part of my job is events.
Well, I mean, there's people like you and Cassie from Hello Sunshine at these events. So of course it's going to be, as you say, lifting everybody's energy. Everybody's going to be vibing together in that regard. How about women in the NFT space and the Web3 space in general? Here's my observation, and I could definitely be wrong. All the statistics that are shown are like women don't have a place in the industry. Like women aren't leading projects, women aren't being invested in. And so a lot of times I see things that are like saying how it's not good and it's not getting better. So that's what I see. But then my experience is I'm at events and it's like, feels like it's about half women and it feels like I'm interacting with women a lot. And so I want it to be better. It's certainly not good or good enough, but I think there's a difference between my experience in community, working on projects, and what the statistics I see. So you're going to be speaking about women kind of building the future in Web3 and social media. So what's your perspective? And does your experience in this industry line up with some of these negative, consistently kind of down critical statistics that are seen?
Well, I think there will definitely be clickbait around everything, especially if the word NFT is in it. Always, forever. That being said, it's not anywhere close to 50%. None of the events are, none of the projects are, none of the money that women are making from projects in the NFT space is about 5%. So the numbers are off. This isn't uniquely to NFTs and this digital crypto world. This is also women in STEM in general. There's a lower number of women versus men. So that's part of it. And I think in early days of anything that's technology, finance based, we will have a smaller number of women. But personally, I think now, well, that's also because historically women weren't really inspired to work. They weren't promoted, or I don't know if they were inspired, that's not the word, but they weren't pushed to work. They weren't expected to work. There wasn't this pressure. That's what I was looking for, pressure to work. So it's been recently that they were even really allowed to, just in the past couple of decades. So I think that the NFT space and the crypto space in general is the best chance for women to change that, because a lot of what's happening in the other parts of like the tech and finance fields is that men have been there for generations. But now we're at a point where no one's been here for generations, no one. So that's why I see it as my personal mission. Everything I focus on and everything I defend and fight for in this space is really to bring more women into it, because I see this as our chance to change things after generations of feeling behind. And it's starting off, we're not 50-50, but I think that a lot of women are coming into the space, and I'm trying to elevate them and get either their art or their messages out there. And we really are collaborating together as a female force to try to make this happen, because a lot of the women who are in here now realize that this is our opportunity to get to that 50-50 point in technology because we're early enough.
So how does it impact you and the projects that you're working on having Avery as the president? Because I mean, she has an incredible amount of honor in the industry before she came to VaynerNFT. Everybody loves her. Everybody loves having her come speak. When she speaks, people listen. And so is that a really positive thing for you, having her as the lead at VaynerNFT? And how do you think that impacts your world? And why should other NFT organizations be looking at diversifying and trying to find really strong, powerful, smart, intelligent, great recruiters that are women come in to lead the charge and be at the helm?
Yeah, I think it's really important. For me, it was it was the instant yes. The fact that I would be working for Avery. I was like, where do I sign? Anything. It's not just NFTs, it really is working for Avery. And I get a lot of questions about, well, how do we bring more women into the space? And this is like the ultimate question for everyone in the space who has a woman in their life, and everyone who has a mother or sister or friend or girlfriend, understands that they want them to feel empowered by this technology in this new space. So working for Avery has absolutely done that for me. It's made me feel like I could be a boss bitch too. And it's shown me the power of inspiration, I guess, the power of just like leading by example, because seeing her be, in my opinion, one of the biggest movers in this space, definitely the most powerful female and woman in this space, has shown me like, okay, actually, we can get more women here. We can do this. We can be strong. We have someone to model. So my answer to the question when people say, how do we bring more women into the space, is always inspire them to get into it. You have to either become someone who's inspiring or elevate the people who are already inspiring women, really share them. So in my opinion, if you want to bring more female leaders into companies, which you should, because that's the only way to balance out this space. And at the end of the day, you can go to a cigar lounge with your gentleman friends, but you don't want to live there. You know, you're going to want to go home to your girlfriend, your wife, visit your mom, say hi to your girlfriends, and you just need different energy. You need that balance of energy. So to bring in those leaders, you really have to become one of them, or elevate the women who you think can be strong leaders in the space. So
What's a practical way that events like NFT.NYC, what's a practical way that we can approach to empower more women? Because we go out of our way to make sure that we are inviting every gal that we can to speak, be a part of a panel. I go out of my way to try to make sure that I have about half of the interviews that like this with women. It was way easier last year. For some reason, this year I've had more guys respond. But what's a practical or some practical steps that we can take, maybe something we haven't thought of, that would allow us to be part of the solution and allow us to help further the opportunities for women in the industry?
great question. I love that you're thinking of that. There's always going to be some, because this is habitually speaking, it's not natural that you'll already have 50% of women and 50% of men, because that's not how things are right now. Not everything that you can do to change that on a drastic level will be practical, or will seem as practical or as obvious, or else people would have thought of it. So 3 things I can think of. One, that would be the simplest, and that is to make sure every stage you have has a woman on it. So I noticed that a lot of ways that people, organizers of events, will think about it is, oh, well, we'll have a fashion panel, we'll have a women focused panel, we'll have this like female topic, but it really is meshing the women and the men and those energies that'll make the biggest impact. So having these rules for all of your organizers will be so powerful, because then they won't have a choice to be like, oh, well, here's what we have, so let's just organize them. It'll be like, sorry, we're going to have to say no to this person, because we're going to have to make space and make room for this person. Another way we can bring more, especially more powerful women in, is to pay them as speakers. And I know that's hard for a lot of nonprofit organizations, even like TED and NFT.NYC, where a lot of it is voluntary, but paying women, especially powerful women, to come will be impactful. They will come. And then the third one, is just forcing that 50-50. Absolutely. Just the only way to guarantee that you will have it is to have leadership that tells the team, this is how we're doing it. We have space for 400 speakers. We already have 200 men. We need 200 women, or we're letting some of the men go. So we're keeping it 50-50, and just being very, very strong about it. The only way to make a difference is to actually be firm and have these like set rules, even if it's just, okay, one woman on every stage. That would make a huge difference.
Yeah, I really like the three examples, especially the first two. I'm going to ask you a question about the third. So having a woman on every stage or even maybe a part of every panel makes a lot of sense to me. So I think like that's a really reasonable thing to navigate. The third thing that you mentioned about a hard and fast black and white rule of 50%. I don't know how that would practically work. One of the issues.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, I wasn't meaning attendees, I was meaning speakers. I'm not sure that changes anything, but just
No. I understood speakers. So I just want to ask you just the practicality of it. So let's say we put out a speaker thing, because I'm really interested in your answer. We put out a speaker thing, we have thousands of people want to speak, right? Let's just call it several thousand. And now we've narrowed it down to over 1,000 that we're having speak. Now, obviously, we want diversity. Gender, age, ethnicity, location, types of projects they're working on, types of communities that they've built, types of art that they're creating. Like, we absolutely want diversity. So that's a for sure thing. We also want to make sure that we are part of the solution in women feeling drafted into the industry, drawn into the industry, like there's a platform ready for them to go step onto. Not that they have to break through a glass wall and create opportunity, but that we're creating opportunity for them in advance. I just don't know if that translates to 50% of speakers, although I like that idea. I think I've tried to do that with the video interviews. It's a little easier for me to try to make that like even. I wonder how difficult our administrative operational team might consider the approach of like, once we hit X number of guys, that's it. And now it's all gals. So is there a bridge between what is today and that kind of 50-50 ideal? What is a bridge to get us there? You think the bridge is, hey, at least every panel should have a gal. At least every single stage should have a woman on it. Like, would that be kind of step one that's practical, maybe getting toward a more equal, presence on the stages?
Yeah, and I love that you're thinking about this. Like, I definitely know and feel from the NFT.NYC team that that you want to be as inclusive as possible. So I definitely feel that. And I love that you're thinking about it so thoughtfully. Yeah, everything I laid out, 1, 2, and 3 is basically steps on how easy to how difficult, or easiest to most difficult. So it would definitely be difficult. Absolutely. But to make such a drastic change, because it would be drastic, right? Women are about, there's less than 20% of the NFT community is women. So, and imagine how like what percentage of that would be someone willing to speak. The biggest fear that humans have is public speaking. So it would be very hard, but it's 1000% possible. You'd have to make a ton of sacrifices. Maybe it would be a smaller event. I don't know, because I haven't tried it, but I do know that when you give someone a goal and they have to reach it, this is something, again, strong leadership can do anything, can work wonders. If you give someone a strong enough goal, anything is possible. It doesn't have to be the first thing you make, but I can guarantee the first conference who does figure that out is going to be hyped, to say the least. It's going to be very well respected. So, but yeah,
VCon's coming up. My assumption is that Gary's team and the community, because I don't think it's just Gary's team that is driving VCon.
The larger,
we'll set a lot of new standards, right? Just like what he did with VFriends, I feel like he brought new innovative strategies to market and set new standards. My anticipation, my hope, and expectation would be that that would happen with the VCon event. So I hope you and your team have the best time at VCon, and as well as for the whole entire community. So many people are buzzing about it, as they should be. We're very grateful at NFT.NYC to have your and the team's involvement. I hope you come dress as an avatar again and jump up on stage with me.
I might do it.
Screaming inspirational things to everybody as you did last year. Thank you for joining me today, Leslie.
Thank you so much. Yeah, everything we try to say throughout this interview and always in the space is just something I try to put into practice myself. So hopefully this space is just going to get more exciting. That's not hopefully, that's a guarantee. So thank you for everything you do at NFT.NYC to make it such an exciting event. It's the one that started it all for me. So can't wait to see how things evolve and hope I can support in any way that I can.
Well, you certainly can. Thank you for coming to speak, for coming with the team, for all the support. We're going to do some very fun collaborative things while we're there and probably leading up to the event. For anybody that's watching our conversation, thank you for your attention. I'll be back again soon with another one of these.